Welcome to Wild, Women in Lending Determined to Make an Impact. I'm your host, Robin Lavasser. They say our biggest fear is not that we are inadequate. It's being powerful beyond measure. In this podcast, I will share how to break through imaginary ceilings, lean into success, discovering your purpose, and understanding how to create the business and life of your dreams. From failures to triumphs and all the tactics in between, let's jump into the wild arena together. Welcome back to Wild with Robin Lavasser. The topic of value. What really is value? I love 3 words to be affiliated with value, and I've talked about this quite a few times, but this is really in life in general, and they can all be everything that is of value to you can be compartmentalized into one of these categories. Things that are extra valuable, maybe contain all 3. And there's also different moments in your life when you rank value in certain situations, context, really lifetime, if you will, later in life, earlier in life, where the value ranking, if you will, varies depending on what you're doing. And so what is value? Value is really time, joy, money. Time, joy, money. That's not to say everything else doesn't have value. It's to say that, gosh, how I spend my time, is this worth my time? Is this worth the investment of me? And or would that be a waste of my time? Is something that people use as a decision maker in value. Joy, would this make me happy? Do I believe this would be fun? Would this get me in a better mood, if you will? Would this put me in a bad mood, drain the energy out of me? We're making decisions, right, based on joy. We're also making decisions based on money. Will this make me money? Will this save me money? I've talked a lot about buddy selling and how my business really transformed in general when I actually got away from my most natural state, which is buddy selling. Buddy selling is very much I'm likable. We enjoyed each other. We had a great meeting. Everything. You're really nice. I'm really nice. We even have some commonalities, whether it's we're both moms or parents in general. We both love dogs or college football, whatever it may be. But, we have some commonalities. Oh, wait. And we're both in the same industry. Therefore, we do have a need for one another. My hope, based on being so kind and so likable and vice versa, we really hit it off, if you will, is that you'll call me if you need a lender, that you'll say my name to other clients because you should, because I'm so nice. But is it enough? You hear that saying that nice guys, if you will, finish last. And it's like, well, I hate that. Why can't you be nice? Guess what? You can and you should. You should always be that. But you need to be more than that when it comes to business. And what I find is that so many of us shy away from understanding and knowing our value, asserting and stating and confidently delivering our value, our competency, if you will. And that's what really breeds confidence. Because value actually allows you to have certainty. Certainty sells confidence in the consumer, in your referral partners, to say they really are certain in themselves. Therefore, they're making me feel safer. They're making me feel certain about choosing them to be the lender that I need, right? We really struggle with the value prop. So I want to go through a couple things. And this is not even just loan officer specific. You can transpose this into many things, but the truth is, if a loan officer doesn't communicate their value, the market will do that for them. And the market will often discount lower than what you would deserve to be discounted. So if you find yourself being shopped a whole bunch, appointments canceling, phone calls going to voicemail, lack of return text messages or information, I want you to do yourself a really solid favor in extreme ownership, which we just talked about. And instead of saying they must be busy, I must have done something wrong, that, if somebody else had it cheaper or whatever the case, all the excuses you might give yourself. And I want you to lean in and say, I clearly wasn't valuable enough in their eyes. Now, that doesn't mean you're truly not valuable enough. It means you're not actually able to articulate and believe in your own value and put it out there to where somebody says, my goodness, I'd be nuts not to choose them as my lending partner. I'd be nuts not to choose them as the loan officer that executes on my file. That matters. It matters a ton. And so what happens when you don't understand your value? Well, the number one, and I talk about this all the time, our industry in general, and many industries face this, and that's either be valuable and grow in value or become a commodity. And the problem with commoditization, a little challenging there, is if an LO can't clearly explain why they're different, they get lumped into a rate and fee bucket. And I really envision this right now. There's two buckets, and automatically, before even the phone call gets answered, the appointment starts, the lending consultation starts, just so you know, you don't start even. You start in the rate and fee bucket. You start in the unvaluable bucket, in the commoditization bucket, because the industry on the whole pushes commoditization. So you already have a little bit of an uphill battle, if you will, to get over to the value bucket. And I want you to envision you as a human. I'm in this bucket over here. How the hell do I get out of here? How do I climb and get over there into the value bucket? Because I know that that's where I belong. And I know that that's how I will be the best for the referral partner and the client. And so realtors and clients will shop you against online lenders. They will look for the next cheapest offer, the next person that answered their phone fastest. Instead of being a trusted advisor, you will simply be a transaction processor, an order taker, if you will. And here's what happens when that is the case. If you're burned out right now, I want you to look at yourself and say, why am I burned out? Part of it is that I'm a commodity, exhausted by people shopping you, exhausted by people rescheduling on you, exhausted by not getting answers to your phone calls, exhausted by not hearing back, exhausted with being a commodity. Therefore, we often start to avoid sales activity and we beeline into operational activity where we can show instant value. Oh, I know how to rework that loan file. Let me do this. Let me return emails. Let me create all this other stuff. And we distract ourselves because all of a sudden we feel valuable again. What if you just knew the biggest value you had was truly in sales? So that's what I want to challenge you on. When you weaken your influence by not understanding your value, you don't understand that what value is what earned you the seat at the table to begin with. And without it, you have very little authority in giving advice, financial decisions, realtors trust for referrals. You don't even really know how to ask for them. So you end up calling, let's say you call realtors on a Monday, you call them and you say things like, how was your weekend? Tell me about your Labor Day. Let me know if you need anything. And the truth is, we sometimes aren't even calling our own mom and dad or brother and sister or spouse for that matter and checking in and making small talk. Why in the world would we do it in business? And that's because we're lacking a value proposition, right? We don't understand our value. And so they don't really understand your role. One of my challenges to loan officers in general is call realtors on a Monday and say, what do you believe a loan officer's number one role in partnering with you is? What is the number one role they can play for you? And I can guarantee it. You'll hear provide a pre-approval letter, qualify a client, keep me up to date with rates and programs. You'll hear a lot of things. What you won't hear is one of the value propositions, meaning time, joy, money. You'll hear a lot of other things, but you really won't be clear on it. But when you are able to assert that, when you can say, my number one job is to make you more money, period. I need to add value to you. And in business, value, that's why we all go to work, right? Otherwise, we'd go do all the fun hobbies, life things, travel, experiences, nonstop family time and friend time and significant other time and self time. That's what we would do. If it all had no money, if money wasn't a factor, we would choose to do that, not mortgage loan applications, not realtor referral appointments, right? And so you have to be able to say, hey, I know what I'm looking to do for you and with you, and that's simply to make you more money. I coach all across the country. I see realtors in rooms of 50 to 200 plus. And when I say to them, how many lenders call you and say, my job, period, is to protect your paycheck and make you more paychecks in the future? All the hands not up, not happening. Never hear it. How many of you guys would actually use the lender that said that and delivered on it? Every hand in the room up. Every hand in the room, but they've never heard it before. And so in a sea of sameness, you have to learn to differentiate. Now, I know a lot of you guys freak out and go, how would I even do that? How would I state that? I don't want to be too salesy. I don't want to lie to somebody. Don't lie. Be that valuable, if you will. And there are ways to do that, different podcasts to get into the weeds on, but you have to be a loan officer that creates more wealth for them. Low confidence, low conversion. I want to say it again, low confidence, low conversion. When someone doesn't know their value, it shows in tone, it shows in body language, it shows in conversations. And when clients and agents feel your own hesitation about things, confidence, creating that certainty that we talked about at the beginning. Certainty is what converts. So if you're really struggling with conversion, it's because your confidence is really low. Not understanding your own value also creates transactional instead of relationship business. We all talk about wanting to be relational, but when you make yourself out to be like every other lender on the planet, you're simply there to provide a transaction, to start the loan and to finish the loan on time. That's all you're doing. And it's not enough. It's not enough, I can tell you that. Transactions are things that LOs don't articulate to clients. I'm going to save you time. I'm going to help you with strategy. I'm going to find a way for you to build more wealth through this purchase, save more money, and offset the higher monthly payment. I'm going to do all of these things that help you strategize. I'm going to do the work to get you into your dream home despite competing offers. You have to understand and confidently be able to deliver more than just a transaction. It's really, truly a relationship where somebody says, with them on my side, I know I'm in such good hands that I wouldn't even think about using somebody else. The guy down the road that's a little bit cheaper doesn't matter to me because they're so valuable that it's worth it to me. And if people aren't saying that about your business, again, you are burned out and you are doing the little roller coaster, if you will, of I closed one, I closed two, I closed three, maybe I got to five, but you're certainly not getting to 10. Not without value proposition, that's for sure. Not with just buddy selling. Very last piece, and we miss this a lot, missing your own wealth building opportunities and helping your real estate agents and your clients also build wealth. If you yourself can't articulate the value in the job that you signed up for, other than being a nice person who can give somebody a rate and a payment and cash to close, which I would say is probably 85% or better of all people with an NMLS, right? They're probably fairly decent people, nice, overall competent, can provide payment, rate, lock in, and execute on a loan. That's the truth. So it truly isn't enough, which means you're missing out on wealth building opportunities. When I transitioned from buddy selling into value selling and then understanding and confidently knowing, and to this day leaning in, right, squaring my shoulders and saying, this is how valuable I will be and am to you, and this is what I can help you with, provide you with, and being a giver to you versus just a taker. Like, hi, how's your Labor Day, have a lead for me? That's a taker versus the giver, right? Let me help you create more business this week. Let me help you go get a listing, go get another buyer, create more leads for you. There's all different ways for you to do it and be valuable. Man, you can build their wealth and yours, because when you can close 10 plus loans a month as a loan officer, your wealth building opportunity, probably somewhere between $40,000 and $50,000 a month in commission. It's life changing, not only for you, but for everyone that you become the one for, the charities, the family, the community, the office space, and you give other people permission to start looking and saying, how can I become valuable as well? And that creates a ripple effect in the entire industry. If this was helpful, I hope you share it. We'll see you soon. Remember to stay valuable.